go. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be going over the all-new 2022 Honda Civic Si. First and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Mercedes-Benz of Farmington for giving me some time with this Honda Civic Si. They do have this for sale right now. If you're interested, I'm going to put a link to their inventory in the description down below. And the thing that's really cool about the Mercedes-Benz of Farmington is they are a one-price store, so they're going to make your buying experience super easy and straightforward. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into the review. Under the hood of the Civic Si, we have a turbocharged 1.5-liter four-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed manual transmission. Fuel economy is 27 around town and then 37 on the highway, with power outputs being 200 horsepower and then 192 pound-feet of torque. So let's go over the front end of the Civic Si. We're actually going to start here with the lights because Honda's lights are timed. They're going to shut off in a minute. But you guys can see here with the LED headlamps and with the daytime running lights, I think they look absolutely fantastic. Anyways, we've got these distinctive body lines on the hood, and I love this blue paint here. I've only seen this on the Integra, not the Civic yet, and I think this looks really cool. Anyways, we got our Si badge there, and then we have our fake fog lamps off to the side. Notice how the front grille is all blacked out. So it definitely has like a sporty appearance to it. So coming on the side here, we've got 235mm tires wrapped around 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear. All season tires, if you guys are wondering, and I love the wheel design, all blacked out, just looks really cool overall. And then notice the molding there for the fender as well. Mirrors are blacked out, and you guys can see the side view here, which I think is the best view on the new Civic, especially the Civic Si. So here's our key fob. We have our lock function, our unlock function, and then the opening here for the trunk, which we'll press. It just unlatches it, and then you do have to lift it up the rest of the way yourself. Now you guys can see the trunk area here. Pretty dang practical, that is for sure. Tons of storage space. We have our rubber Civic floor mats that come with it, and it's one of the benefits of the Civic Si is it's, well, a sedan, so it's got some nice practicality, and boom. Now finishing things up with the rest of the rear, you guys can see here with the spoiler also all blacked out. We have our Si badge right there. Really like the look of the taillights here on the Civic Si. I think they look pretty cool, but again, that's just a Civic thing. Now coming down to the exhaust tips, you guys can see here the appearance on those. You kind of can't see the other side, but dual outlet, looks really cool, and there's the rear. Now here's the door panel in the back. You guys can see down below here with the cloth padding, and then notice there with the window control and the door handle. And then here are the seats, pretty normal looking, just black cloth. We do have some red stitching though on the seat. And then if we actually pop in, here's the legroom. You guys can see it's pretty spacious back here. Got our cup holder armrest, which of course has some more red stitching on it. And yeah, that's all. Let's head to the front. Now here is the front door panel. Before we go over that, I do want to mention we do have blind spot monitoring for the mirrors. Notice we got this black trim here, and then down below you guys can see with this red cloth, it's kind of a cool little square pattern. And then notice here with the red stitching. Front two windows are automatic, and then you got your mirror adjustments. And then here are the front seats, pretty aggressive. You got the Si logo there. You guys can see the bolstering. And then notice here with the adjustments, they are manual. And then 3-pedal layout. Then you guys can see here with the stability control, and then that's for the safety tech. I love the look of the vents with the little switches, but let's pop in. Now here is the steering wheel for the Civic Si. You guys can see here with the padding all around, and then you got the red stitching there on the center portion. This does have adaptive cruise control as well as steering assistance. We do have our volume controls, and then you got like your little home button, voice command control, turn signal, light stock, windshield wiper stock, and there's the steering wheel. Now here is the center gauge cluster. You guys can see pretty interesting setup because like this is the like analog side, and then you have the screen side there on the other side. Overall though, I think it looks pretty cool. Notice how it's showing me the boost PSI that is happening right now as I give it a couple of revs. We do have some different drive modes. We can go into sport, individual, and notice it won't let me go past that, and it gives you like a sound. And then there's the normal mode, which is what it'll be in most of the time, and there you go. Now here's the center infotainment system. You guys probably noticed when I changed the drive modes, it actually gives us a cool little animation here in the center with it, which yeah, I don't know, I think it's a nice little thing. Anyways, we're gonna pop it into reverse so you guys can see the backup camera here, which is pretty solid. And then aside from that, notice here with the buttons here on the side functions like a little shortcut thing. And then as for the screen itself, response time is really solid, easy to use. And other than that, there's the infotainment screen. We have the Honda Civic Mega Vent that goes all the way across with the red trim, and then of course got the hazard light button there in the center. And then we have our single zone climate control just down below, and then you guys can see here with some USBs and a 12 volt, and then just some extra storage right there. We have our drive mode select here with our auto stop start, parking brake, and then our brake hold. And then we have the shifter for that 6-speed manual transmission, very shiny on the head, kind of like a bald man. Okay, all jokes aside though, we'll talk about this more when we actually take it out and drive it, but pretty cool shifter. And then notice here with the cup holders, and you guys can see with the storage space. And then notice with the glove box, pretty normal. And last but not least, if we pop up top, you guys can see here with the sunroof setup, and then we have a manual mirror dimmer. So here's the window sticker for this 2022 Civic Si. Now I do need to state this is what the original MSRP was. This is not current market price on the car. Anyways, you guys can see here with the standard equipment. I love how they're flexing 200 horsepower, 6-speed manual, limited slip differential, and then 4-wheel disc brakes, and then McPherson struts. I don't know, it's just funny all the stuff they mentioned. Anyways, there's the rest of the standard equipment. Most of the stuff is standard. There's not really much you can add to this. After all options, $28,595 was the original MSRP. Let's take it out and drive it. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood. Both the mirrors, dual blind spot monitoring. Then throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, brake down, first gear, let's set off. So, setting off here in the Civic Si, we're gonna focus here on the Civic Si for now. And first off, what you guys will probably notice is that it's kind of like an interesting thing to get used to with the manual transmission with the revs and everything. It revs up relatively quickly. The shifter's really hot. Like, this shifter gets really hot in the sun, I will say that. But when it's cool, it's a cool shifter, that's for sure. That was a really bad joke. But anyways, clutch is super light, and there's not a lot of feel with the clutch itself. It's hard for me to tell exactly where the grab point is with the Civic Si. So that is kind of interesting. Now I'm actually gonna pop it into sport mode. Is this person gonna turn or not? My goodness. Whoo! Takes a second to get used to. Yeah, that clutch is the weirdest part. Definitely the weirdest part. Now this is a sedan, 4 doors, and it, you know, going around those corners, it handles pretty well. It feels pretty solid. I'm gonna drop down in gear. It's pretty easy to, is this, I was like, that rev match felt way too good for this to be not automatic. I'll double check the next time I downshift. It's not crazy quick by any means, but it definitely has like a good feel to it. So let's see if this is auto rev match. Oh, it is auto rev match. I thought I was such a good driver for a second there. Nope, I'm not a good driver. It's got auto rev match, which is nice. Definitely, you know, helps out, especially daily driving and everything. It makes a car so much more daily drivable. Now I'm interested to see how the turning radius feels. And it's cool to see the boost too with the Civic Si. See exactly what's happening. Don't worry, that was my tripod if you guys are wondering, the knocking sound. Now going over this little cover, suspension's really compliant. Definitely, I mean, you know, being a bigger car, definitely feels nice and luxurious. Now we're gonna get our full-blown acceleration here. It's not like crazy quick, but it's pretty dang good, and you can actually like shift pretty fast with this. Like you guys saw, you can just pretty much just go right up, and because people always talk about what is it, rev hang or something like that with the, I think it's rev hang with the Civics, and I mean, I don't know, maybe, but I can tell you you know, the rev match downshift function does everything for me. And when I'm on the upshift, I can just instantly, I can just go through and just like put my foot down. So I don't think you can flat foot shift it. I am having to pull my foot off the pedal, so I do need to mention that. But as long as you just pull your foot off the gas pedal for a second, shift, and then back on, it, you guys saw, it's perfectly smooth. So yeah, I guess we'll quickly sum things up here with the Civic Si from a driving experience perspective. First off, geez, it puts down the power surprisingly well. That is for sure. It really does put down the power surprisingly well. And on top of that, you know, like I said earlier, showing you guys the visibility. Visibility is great here with the Civic Si, just like any other Civic. I love this manual transmission. Like, the notches feel amazing. Still, for the price point, definitely the best manual you can get on the market. And yeah, I guess the only thing is it's not like super quick. So like, it doesn't like push you back in your seat and everything, like all those memes you see about like Honda Civic drivers flooring it and then their passengers being bored. Like, it's kind of true, but it's a really good amount of power where you can have fun without breaking the law. And like, it just feels good, because like the shifter feel, the clutch feel is good. It's just that it's not like, it's a weird like catch point. You don't really feel a lot happening with the clutch. But I will say, like, the whole actuation with just the whole pushing the clutch, putting it into gear, all that kind of stuff feels good here with the Civic Si. And so I think it's a really good performance car. It really is. And with the new Civic platform, it definitely has more of like a luxury feel compared to what the Civic used to have. This is still sporty. This still handles amazingly well, just like the previous generation Civic. But oh, that's so fun. But on top of that, great handling. It's also very comfortable. Like, this is the most daily drivable Civic Si ever made. And yeah, I love the shifter is the highlight with the Civic Si, that's for sure. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2022 Honda Civic Si. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Mercedes-Benz of Farmington for giving me some time with this Civic. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see ya.